Okay, continue. So, can you repeat what
Okay.
you just said
Okay.
earlier about like the engagement with another? You start with the engagement with self is a different sort of ethics.
Yeah, the
When it
engagement
comes,
with self is also an intuitive moment, a spark of relating and discovering one's soul, aligning one's energy with one's soul's truest expression on earth. And 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 it's and it's around us. I just discovered that when I started to write the things that I love, I'm interested in, I'm enthusiastic about, I love, I like, I admire, just making those lists, I was just running so many lists in my life: people, places, incidents, moments, thoughts, everything. And as I was doing it, I can feel that the energy was moving me to a place of joy and happiness. And at one point it was very much related to how I was feeling energetically when I'm in the embrace of divine.
mm-hmm,
So, and that exercise for me was very earthly. I wasn't even imagining any heaven. I was
mm-hmm,
just being present. So what I learned from that is that inside of me, inside of the things that I went through in life already, because there are things of my past already. Even the imaginings that I created to remember those things come from the material of my past. So inside of this past, there are already connections to my soul that I wasn't present to. But in doing that intuitively now, I was seeing how heaven is very much a part of of me through these experiences. And my relating this to you is an expression of my sharing it. And I can sense that if I share it coming from this joy and energy when I was experiencing it, then that's the kind of vibe that I emanate as I share it. So this is like one aspect of me sharing that coming from this energy. And there's the intuko. And I make the distinction between this expression and the expression of intuko, because with intuko there is now the me that I choose in whatever energy level I am with. So one choice would be to be in the space of the Blessed Mother through EBP, flowing through me. But then engaging with another is a different engagement. It is engagement. So it's not just me by myself, but me with another.
mm-hmm,
So this engagement with another creates a dynamic that needs conscious and discernment, because it is, and ethics, that's why ethics come in, because it does not just affect me, it now begins to affect, there's a dynamic I'm co-creating with another. Okay,
mm-hmm,
so it becomes my responsibility what I put in this co-creation and what I allow in this co-creation. So there's this ever dynamic, from start to finish of what we how we will engage. And for this to be mutually beneficial and mutually acceptable, there has to be an ethical uh, engagement of both of
mm-hmm,
us.
mm-hmm,
So we can put in as much as we learn and as much as and contribute to create this sphere of in co-engagement, an ever enriching space. And so if I bring this back to the experience of the Japanese garden, inside a Japanese garden that is so masterfully created, um, when one walks in as the intuitive self, as the self, allowing oneself to walk into a garden and experiencing something, whatever I experience is totally mine. You know, another one's experience would be totally his or her. So when I move, and my experience of Japanese gardens is that there's a certain standard, high level of standard that allows me to experience it, and I feel safe. and I feel fully in the space of sacred. I'm in awe, and I'm in perpetual state of discovery of
Mm.
self and and humanity, and what a high level of human expression can do to oneself and to others. So I'm in that present, and because of that, I'm so present now to how the masters have created such a masterful dimension of physicalization, like a Japanese garden has been masterfully crafted it with so much intention and mastery, such that when I walk through it, I feel me. I am present to me, not to their stuff. In
Mm.
fact, they completely disappear.
Yes.
And I'm just so present to me and to a particle.
Mm.
So their mastery is so much, their purity is such as a very high level that I don't see them. There's just me and and
Mhm.
this workmanship. And that for me is a successful intuko. uh, Not only the craftsmanship mastery of the garden, but even the managers of the park.
Mhm.
Because what the managers of the park do is to create pathways and a program that's very intentional, well thought of, on how to allow and where to allow with very minimum presence, how to allow the visitors to come in and out. If you say they're not like saying, don't do this, don't do that, there are not much of those rules.
I
So
know
they've
that.
done it at a very high level of precision and
Mm.
of unobtrusive accuracy
Mhm.
that you walked in like it's an open house. And the barriers are very minimal, but
Mm.
they evoke that sense of respect, honor,
Oh,
because they honor you with respect.
right.
You know, they don't tell you you should do this, you should do that. They're actually by example, by bowing to you, they bow to you, they honor you, they give you respect, they give everything. And I think that's how they elicit that same level of honor and respect when they afford it to you. So that's the intuko engagement that I find beautiful. And I distinguish that part. Now, just coming back straight to this part, the first part where I'm able to intuit, many of us are still in the process of remembering or
Yes.
re-engaging intuitively with self. Um, I find in my work, say with Yolanda,
Mhm.
people feel undeserving. People don't even think that who they are is the sun. They don't even see that. They just see that what I have, what I don't have,
Mhm.
uh, defines me, is who I am. So there's a lot of shame there. Okay. So it may be an experience, different experience for people. So how before they can walk into a Japanese garden and allow themselves to be present to their holiness and their sacredness that the Japanese garden is meant to mirror for them, because it's not just beauty. If you want to optimize the mirroring that the Japanese garden does, it really mirrors the divine, the divinity that you are, the oneness that you are with all things. So it takes a certain level of um, of openness for a visitor to have that experience. So it's very important for me to have experienced that when I start to experience and allow myself my own sense of joy,
Mhm.
being present to my sense of joy, to my sense of spirit, my sense
Mhm.
of soul,
Mhm.
and allowing myself connection through that, to trial and error. Maybe that's a service that I could also look forward to when there's an experience, because the park has parking spaces. The park has a gate where people just speak, so there's a space where people can actually come in and then are invited, but they do not necessarily have to make the decision to go in. So perhaps if there's a park like that, like there's a holding area or there's a visitor area, for me to enter, to pick, that helps me to be present to that state of who I am. That can be the first, like a beginning, to explore that part of me, so that I can then walk into that garden more presently and more ready. So two things. One is the I like it how Brad already created the word intuitive inside. Okay, so it's like intuitive inside, like a parking space before the actual park itself. So the intuitive inside, if I can practice more the intuitive inside, allow myself to explore that more, then I would be more ready and more participatory in the Intuko, which would be the park itself.
Mhm.
Uh, so there.